Yes, YouTube, what's going on? So I've just left the gym, just trained upper body at Ultraflex, and I am now about to go and do a food shop. So I'm going to take you with me on the food shop and show you what an anabolic food shop looks like. A lot of people, I think, struggle with what they should be buying in the shop. They walk around the shop aimlessly and they don't know what to make. They're looking at new recipes on Instagram and they never really get anything good. And that's how people end up just ordering shitty takeaways all the time and not being locked in with their diet. If you want to look like you lift, you need to be doing food shops. I'm a big believer in buying actual ingredients, making proper meals, doing meal prep and shit like that. When you're relying on meal deals and ready meals and takeaways and stuff like that, you're never going to look like you lift. You're not fueling your training properly, for one. And then if you are at a higher percentage of the body fat, you're never really going to have any control in changing that. Like if you're always just relying on random foods and you don't know exactly what's going in your food, you're not eating majority whole food ingredients, you're never going to look like you lift. And like I said, I am a big believer in making proper food. So like I said, I just left the gym, trained upper body. It was a good session. My shoulder's been a bit cooked recently, but actually today it felt really good on both my chest exercises. I still haven't been doing any vertical pressing just because that is the main kind of movement that bothers it. So no shoulder pressing, just a bunch of lateral raises for my shoulder work. But chest seems to be moving well. So I'm on the way to the Tesco's now. It's not too far from the gym. And I'll show you what my food shop looks like. Mine pretty much looks the same all year round. Whether I'm cutting, whether I'm gaining, doesn't really matter. I rely on the same foods all the time, and the phase that I'm in just dictates how much I have of them. I am currently cutting. I've gone down from 222-ish to about 198-ish this year, so we're about 25 pounds down. Feeling good. It's going super well. This is probably the easiest diet I've ever had in my life. Managing hunger super well, again, because I'm going to the shop and picking good ingredients that support my training, support my energy, support my satiation. It makes it a lot easier for you to cut when your foods are good. There's no point in just trying to drop your calories as low as possible, because that's just not productive. You need to be picking a good amount of food relative to yourself with good ingredients that are going to keep you full and keep you performing well in the gym, most importantly. Because the reason I'm cutting and the reason the coaching that I do is about aesthetic and making people look like they lift. Basically, I see a lot of people train, and just because they train doesn't mean that you can tell that they train. And I very much used to be the same. I trained for years, but I never did anything really with my diet, and it just had me. I went on a turbo bulk. I looked soft and fat. Obviously, yeah, I was a bit of a bigger guy, but you couldn't really tell that I lifted. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, there was a bit of muscle there hiding underneath a good few layers of fat. And it wasn't until I really locked in my diet, started tracking all my food, doing proper food shops, doing meal preps and stuff, that you could actually tell that I lift. I mean, I hope you can tell that I lift. I think you can. What are you doing, man? Reverse parking, pressure. You wouldn't catch me doing that. I am terrible at reverse parking or parallel parking, especially on a busy street. I'd be an absolute bag of nerves, and I know I would fluff it. I would just drive further away from where I'm going and just park somewhere else, but fair enough. Okay, so I'm just pulling up to the Tesco's now. I've got a strong feeling it's gonna be busy as hell in here. Last time I came on a Saturday at this time, it's about 11 o'clock in the morning. It was absolutely cooked. I had to queue for about 20 minutes. They had like 3 people on the till, so sort it out, Tesco's. Now I am a fan of Tesco's actually. It is the nearest shop to me, so that's why I use it. But I think the meat's good quality, it's well priced. I love a club card deal. I used to be a Sainsbury's guy, but since I moved to Roundhay, we're going to the Tesco's. And I don't really rate Aldi. I know obviously it's cheaper, especially if you're doing full shops. You want to be thinking about your budget. But I just find that the quality of the meats in Aldi is sometimes terrible. Some of the chicken, no offense to Aldi, but some of the chicken looks mad. It looks all red and it's all watery. And the fruit and veg just doesn't stay fresh for very long. So at the moment, I am very much Tesco gang. So I just pulled up to Tesco now. I'll take you in there with me, but when I get home, I'll run you through the whole shop fully and why I'm choosing everything and what you should be looking for really when you're going and doing the food shop yourself. What are we thinking of this angle? It's a bit of a mad POV angle to be fair, but you try getting a magnetic phone holder to stay on your trolley. Okay, so when we first get into Tesco's, we got to dodge the meal deal section. Can't be relying on them. Straight to the fruit and veg. First up, bananas. 2 different kinds of kiwi, and then I'm looking at berries here. Now I do normally get fresh berries, even though it costs an absolute arm and a leg. Where the fuck are the peach? Ah, here they are. There we go, perfectly ripe, fresh peaches. They're not really perfectly ripe, but one of the main meals I prep, and if you've seen on my Instagram, I always have sweet potatoes, chicken and veg. So easy to prep. Throw it all in the air fryer. Then I'll get a pack of white taters as well. I'm going through cucumber rapid, so I might actually get 2 cucumbers because they will last. There's sweet peppers, tomatoes, and then I've been doing a lot because I've been cutting. I've been doing a lot of salads as well. So doing the iceberg lettuce, 2 of them. Bro, look at that. Well, you can't be selling that. That's finished. All the packs of small coriander are kind of fucked, so we'll just get that big one. Spring onions. Forgot to get spring onions too. A key ingredient for salads. Oh, they've moved the spring onion. I don't get why they do that. You know, shops like a Tesco's, yeah. Do they really need to be moving the stock around? I get why you would do it in like retail, in like a shoe shop or something where people are looking at like buying clothes. I don't know why you really need to rearrange the spring onions. You know what I mean? Just, you know, when you come to the same shop, you should just be able to go to the same places and know where everything is. I don't need like a freshening up of the shop. There we go. I need some carrot. I might buy another bag of onions. So number 1 thing on the list with the protein sources is the chicken breast. Gotta get a bunch of that. Okay, so we got the protein boxed off, and this is where the main cost is. Well, let me just show you what we got. So there's a bunch of chicken breast in there. I got like 2 kg chicken breast, and then I wanted some salmon as well, but salmon was coming mad expensive, so we got some trout, got a couple of steaks, and then these chicken sausages were on offer. Eat them all the time. Bacon medallions as well. And then last protein source is some Greek yogurt. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I'm a big fan of the yogurt bowl, and this one that Tesco do, high protein yogurt, is the absolute business. I mean, obviously I like normal Greek yogurt, but this one is just, the texture of it is so much better. I don't normally fall into the trap of the protein market and the high protein stuff, but this one, I'm telling you, it's a game changer. Some 90% dark chocolate. This Lindt one is the goat. So I am nearly done here, and now while I'm at this end of the shop, I am gonna pick up some Monster Energy. There's another tactic if you cut in. Get absolutely loaded up on caffeine. Yeah, Holly wants some sauerkraut as well. Don't know about that. That's kind of butters, but she wants it. Last up there, get some eggs. We always just get stupid amount of eggs. I eat loads of eggs. I'll buy 36 here. And I think we are good. That is that. Now I've got to go queue up. Well, like I said, it gets mad busy in this Tesco on a Saturday. So it could take me ages to get through here. When I get home, I'll give you a run through of exactly what my whole food shop looks like, what the trolley looks like, and break it down for you so that when you go to the shop next time, you have your section, you know exactly what you need to go in and get. You're not pissing around with loads of decision fatigue, picking shit stuff, not getting anything, getting a takeaway instead. Doing a proper food shop and structuring your food shop properly is a game changer if you want to be looking like you live. 118 Great British pounds we spent in there, which to be honest isn't that bad really. Considering that split between me and Holly, I mean I probably will eat more of it, but what, just under 60 quid each for a good 5-6 days food shop. I mean, I think it's important. That's literally what you go to work for. You go to work to buy nutritious food for yourself. That's how I see it. There is nothing more worth investing your money into than good quality food. If you're skimping and saving and just buying shit, well, you're probably gonna look like shit as well. Okay, right, so we just got back from the shop. I'll show you exactly what I got. we are organized enough to do, and Holly got me on this, is putting everything into different bags as well. So most important bag of all is the protein bag, and most expensive bag. So in here we got 36 eggs. Obviously that's between me and Holly as well, but I'll do like 6 at a time. So that'll be like 2 whole eggs and 4 whites, sorry. And then the goat yogurt, I got 4 tubs of them, 500 grams each. 500 grams of the high protein yogurt. Like I said, this is the stuff. This is the best stuff you can get. I eat loads of that. I probably eat that every single day. So 4 tubs. I've already got some in the fridge as well. And then we got 2 packs of these Heck chicken sausages. These are great, man. The macros are really good. What is it? 74 calories per 2 with 11 grams protein. So a couple of them, hardly any calories, good bit of protein. I'm a big fan of like English breakfast, bacon, egg, sausage. So yes, pork sausages are a bit tastier, probably nicer, but the macros on them really suit me on this cut at the moment. Can still eat the food that I like, but with a much leaner option. And then I got 1 pack bacon medallions, not the full fat one. Already got a pack of that in the fridge. And then for me and Holly, we got a couple of steaks. So I got her a sirloin because that's what she likes and that's the tastiest. I got me a kind of shit one. It's just a British beef medallion steak. Now, I'm not expecting anything out of that, but I know it sounds pathetic, but even steak can be too high calorie for me. If I look at Holly's sirloin, it's like 456 calories. I want the whole meal to be 456 calories. So unless I'm eating a steak on its own, do you know what I mean? Whereas this medallion steak, yes, it's not going to be as tasty as a sirloin steak, but that's 250 calories. So I could have a couple 100 grams of potato with that and some veg, and that would be the same total calories as that. So yes, you have to be making sacrifices when you're cutting. You can't just be eating the same fucking foods that you want to always be eating. You can't always be eating the same tasty high fat foods. There needs to be sacrifice. If you want your body to change, you got to make them cuts here and there. It's only temporary. Your dieting should only ever be temporary. It's just a means to an end. You don't want to constantly be on a diet and constantly be picking the shitty version of steak. Right, okay, my phone did cut off there while I was talking away, but I'll pick up where I left off. I wanted to get some salmon. I wanted to get some fish in there. But all the salmon, there was no salmon on the club card thing. So I actually got some trout. I haven't had trout in a long time, but it's delicious. It's basically the same as salmon, but the fat is like a little bit more rich. Really good. I would recommend. And then I'm Captain Chicken Breast, and I've probably eaten more chicken than anyone you know, to be honest. But I got a ton of chicken breast. We got 1.6 and what's that? 650 grams, so like 2.2 kilograms of chicken breast. That is my main protein source. I'm always prepping lots and lots of different chicken breast meals, just because it's super tasty, super easy to use. So generally with your protein, I would probably only recommend that you need to be picking like 3 to 5 sources. I know I've got a ton here. I've got chicken, beef, fish, eggs, other sort like bacon and sausage, yogurt. I also use whey protein as well. So I've probably got like 6 or 7. Gives me a bit of variety, but ultimately you don't need to be picking loads. You don't need to be having loads of different sources. Find a few that work for you and just rinse and repeat them. Okay, the next bag I got is not so organized, but it's a lot of fruit and veg. Got these. These are one of my carb sources that I use. I generally don't like to rely on bread too much when I'm cutting, but I do often have, like I said, bacon, egg, and sausage. So having one of these goes with it super well. These are like Jason sourdough rolls. They're like 200 calories each. They're banging. And then fruit and veg. So we got spring onions, peppers, bananas, lettuce, cucumber, tomato, sweet potato, one of my other main carb sources, bag of red onions, white potato as well, bag of peaches for Holly. We've got carrots, oranges, and another lettuce as well. So you can see how much fruit and veg is there. I've probably got a little bit more in the other bag as well. But we need to, especially if you're cutting, you need to be bulking out your food with a load of fruit and veg. And you need to be tracking it as well. Some people are like, oh, you don't need to be tracking your fruit and veg. But if you set up your diet correctly and you're eating a real good amount of fruit and veg, then that's taking up a good percentage of your calories. I would probably say like 15 to 20% of my calories per day while I'm cutting is on fruit and veg. So if I didn't track that, then it's just going missing. Do you know what I mean? The more accurate you can be especially in a dieting setting, the better results you're going to get and the more you're going to know exactly what you need to be doing, exactly where you may be going wrong or going right. So make sure that you're tracking everything as accurately as you can. And then last bag is more like dry stuff, but there's still a bit of fruit and veg in here. So I got 2 packs of kiwis. I generally get 1 golden and 1 regular, just because I like the variety. Kiwis are super good food for you as well. Loads of nutrients in kiwis. Got a big Volvic. Obviously, that's not really going into the nutrition. A bit more fruit and veg. Got pineapples. There's my receipt. Bag of coriander, just because it just makes so much different foods so much tastier. I know some people are against it, think it tastes like washing up liquid, but coriander's banging. I'm not having it. We've got a jar of gherkins as well. Love them. They go with, like, if you're making like burger bowls or something, then they go super well with it. Or even I like putting them with tuna. I make like this dog food dinner that's just like tuna with a bunch of veg. But the tuna and the gherkins go really well together. And I got some sauerkraut for Holly. I won't be touching that. That stinks. And then, this could have been in the protein bag, but it's in the dry bag. 4 more cans of tuna, but I already got a bunch of that in the cupboard. But easy, lean protein to rely on. Can of Monsters, come on. Got a 4-pack of Monsters, bit cheaper than buying them every day. Got a bit more fruit there. We got the reduced blackberries. Got a pack of blueberries. And then got Holly some gluten-free oats. Got some dark chocolate, 90% of course. And then flavor packs as well. So if I'm running you through this, right, we've obviously got protein as our main source. We then want to also look at our carbohydrate sources. For me, the most important ones are the sweet potato, bit of bread, but then I'm using a lot of fruit and veg as well. There's carbs in the Greek yogurt. They're my main sources. I then also do have that I didn't buy. I've got oats. I've got cream of rice up here, which is maybe not the best dieting food, but really good in a gaining setting. And that's kind of it for my carb sources. Like I said, I don't really rely on rice when I'm cutting. That's more of a bulking food for me. Digests super easy and goes down super well. And then, yeah, so you got your protein, you got your carbs. Then you want to be thinking about your nutrient sources. Again, a ton of this is just fruit and veg. And that is what's bulking out your food. That's what's giving you micronutrients. I've probably got like 15, maybe even more different kinds of fruit and veg there. And I have at least 6, 7, 8 a day, especially when I'm on a cut. And then your last section is fats, flavors, sauces. So you can see that wants to be the most minimal thing in your trolley, right? All I actually got today was, the dark chocolate. Obviously, I already have a bunch of stuff. I have this, and this is the goated peanut butter salted caramel drizzler whole earth. If you ain't on this, you got to get on this. I order this off Amazon because you can't get it in every shop, but it's so good, and I have it every day with my yogurt bowl. So yeah, your flavors, fats, and sauces are stuff like that. Dark chocolate, peanut butter, maybe like mayo or barbecue sauce or whatever you're putting with your food to make it tastier. But that's something that you want to use sparingly, especially in a cut. You want to not be relying on that so much. If you're in a gaining setting and you're trying to get more calories in, yes, we want to be including more fats and sauces. Obviously, I've got my oils here as well. I use vegetable oil. I'm not with the seed oil hate. We got olive oil as well. And I do use beef dripping as well. When you're cooking potatoes, you cook them in beef dripping. Super tasty. Butter as well, got a dish of butter. They're my main fat sources. So a couple of oils, dark chocolate, peanut butter. And then we got flavors as well. Yeah, so like I said, I use these flavor packets. They just make your life so much easier. They're delicious. There's no decision fatigue. There's no like having to have a whole spice rack full of spices and trying to make your own flavors and stuff. You just buy this. Yes, it's a little bit more expensive. I get that. But if it makes your life easier, you can just throw a load of that on some chicken, bang it in the air fryer, and you got protein prep for the week. So that's it. That's what my shopping list looks like basically all year round. Whether I'm gaining, whether I'm cutting, All that I change is the amount of food that I make when I'm cooking it. The sources remain the same. I'm always buying the same kinds of protein. I'm always buying the same fruit and veg that I like, using the same carbs. Maybe, yeah, I don't use rice when I'm cooking, but that's about it. Everything else remains the same. So many people are lifting regularly, but they don't look like they lift. Now, the two main things that I think are the problem there is one, that their training quality is not good enough, and that is an issue for a separate video in itself. But two, that their food quality is just not good enough. They're not doing proper meal shops like this where they're getting good quality ingredients. They go to the shop a couple of days a week and just buy a little bit of this, little bit of that, get an Uber Eats, get this, get that, and they don't ever actually have any structure in their diet. If you're confused about what you need to be doing when you go to the shop, you have no structure in your shopping list, you have no meal prep, you need to get on top of that. If you want to look like you lift, you need to also be eating like you lift. You could be lifting and you could have a bunch of muscle, but if you're not eating properly and you're not at a low enough percentage of body fat, then you can't even tell. And that's where I was at for years. I was training hard, I was lifting heavy, but you couldn't even tell because I had too much fat on me. It wasn't until I started doing stuff like this, proper food shops, doing meal prep and looking at my calories, tracking my food, making sure I was eating enough protein, that I actually revealed the muscle that I'd been working hard for in the gym. So if you need help doing that, I run a 7-day free coaching trial. Now in that trial, we will do a full assessment of your diet. We'll look at where you're at the moment. If going to the shop and buying proper food is an issue that you struggle with, then we can literally do you a shopping list based on the foods that you like, based on what you like to eat, based on how much time and knowledge you have around prepping your food. We can get you a list sorted. We can get you a plan sorted that's going to help you meal prep your food, get you enough nutrients and enough fuel to support your training so that you can finally look like you've actually been lifting this summer. The main thing that I want you to take away from this video is that habits like this, doing proper food shops, allocating time to meal prep, making sure that you're eating high quality nutrients the majority of the time, is the thing that's probably going to move your physique forward the most and actually allow you to reveal the hard work that you've been putting in the gym. Because just because you've been lifting, that doesn't mean you look like you lift. So I'll drop the link to apply to my 7-day coaching trial in the description below. But if you've got any questions on any of this, you want any clarification on what you should be buying when you're in the shop, you can DM me on Instagram at lennyd.pt and I'll be happy to answer any questions and get you moving forward so you actually look like you've been lifting this summer.